Hi kids watching at home, welcome to our online Sunday school this week. So this week we're going to keep looking at the story of Jonah. We'll have a reminder of what's happened so far. So the story starts when God tells the prophet Jonah to go to Nineveh and tell the people in Nineveh to turn back to God. But Jonah, he doesn't listen to God. He does the complete opposite thing and he runs the other direction to Tarshish. Jonah didn't listen to God. Jonah hated the Ninevites. Jonah didn't want God to have mercy on the Ninevites. I've got a few questions for you. In your little package, you've got a stick on it. One side says yes, the other side says no. Got a few reminder questions from last week that we'll go through. So hold up yes if you think the answer is yes, and hold up no if you think the answer is no. The first question is, do you think Jonah was a good guy? So no or yes. I'll say it again. Do you think Jonah was a good guy? Well, the answer is no. Not really, no. He didn't listen to God. He didn't care about the Ninevites, and he did the exact opposite of what God told him to do. The next question is, do you think the sailors wanted to throw Jonah overboard into the sea? So yes or no. I'll say that again. Do you think the sailors wanted to throw Jonah overboard into the sea? Well, the answer is no. The sailors didn't want to do that. They knew if they threw Jonah into the sea, he would die. They didn't want him to die. They tried really hard to row back to land. They only threw him overboard because Jonah told them that the storm would stop if they did that. And my last question is, do you think the sailors listened to God? No or yes? Do you think the sailors listened to God? Well, I think the answer is yes. In the story, as soon as Jonah gets overboard and the storm stops, the sailors realise that Jonah's God is the real God, and they made sacrifices to God. So that's our reminder. Let's see what happens now in the rest of the story. Splash! Jonah fell into the ocean. He held his breath. He couldn't breathe. The waves were spinning him round and round and round. He was sinking down and down and down. The waves pushed him to the bottom of the ocean. He couldn't breathe. He knew he was going to die. He was running out of breath. Fishes were swimming around. Some seaweed came and was tangled over his head. Jonah was about to die, but he remembered God. So he cried out to God. He cried out, "Help!" And God sent a big fish to swallow Jonah up. When Jonah was inside the fish, he prayed to God. He remembered that God had saved his life. He knew that God had saved him from death. And Jonah made promises to God. Then God told the fish to vomit Jonah up onto dry land. Oh, Jonah. Poor Jonah, all covered in fish vomit. Well, that's that part of the story, and we'll hear what happens to the rest of the story in the next couple of weeks. So I think in that story, it's meant to be funny that Jonah gets vomited up and is all covered in fish vomit. It's meant to make us laugh, I think. It's kind of funny for a fish to eat a person instead of a person eating a fish. But Jonah's kind of a funny story like that. So for craft, I thought we'd do a funny craft. We're going to make some fish vomit. I think I'm probably the only Sunday school teacher ever that's got kids to make fish vomit. So I've got some slime in your pack. We're going to use a few colours if you want to make a vomit colour, but you can really make yours any colour you want. I don't know what colour fish vomit is, but I'm going to try and make mine a person colour, person vomit colour. So you can take out the different colours, there's some plasticky things in it. And to make the fish vomit colour, for mine, I'm going to do some orange, some yellow, and some green. I'll take out the red. And when you do it, if you do it on a clean plate and have your hands clean, that will help your slime to last a bit longer because you won't get bits of fluff and stuff in it. So with mine, I'm going to start with about half the orange slime. I'm going to take out all the yellow slime. And then I'm going to take out a bunch of green slime. There you can see it there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start mixing it together. And to get it to mix, you just move your hands really slowly. Otherwise, if you do it quick, it's just going to go like that. You want to mix it by going really slowly. It's kind of an orange colour. I think I'm going to add a bit more green to make it more of a throwing up colour. I don't know if you kids have any crazy vomiting stories. My parents sometimes tell me a story when I was a kid. We went on a road trip. It's a long trip in a car, and I got sick, motion sickness, car sickness. And I drank a milkshake, and then as soon as I finished drinking it, I had the milkshake cup and I vomited it right back into the same milkshake cup. And there's the milkshake back in the milkshake cup. I don't know if you've got any funny vomiting stories. So that's kind of a vomit colour. Like that. Once you've mixed it together like that, I've got some things for you to add, which might be things you might find inside some fish vomit. So in your little bags, I've got some shells. You might want to add some little sequin shells into your vomit. I wonder if a fish might have any shells in its guts. I've got some actual shells. There's a shell. There's a little golden shell. Now when you do this, you don't need to add everything in there. You just add something, so decide what you want to put in there. I've got some little blue fish scales. I might put some fish scales in mine. I've got a pearl. That's a real pearl, but it's a not very good pearl. They're cheap, so I'll put my pearl in there. And I've got some little beads. I'll put my beads in. I think the beads might look like bits of chewed up fish or chewed up seaweed, things that a fish might eat. So once it's in like that, we're just going to carefully start folding the slime on top of it like that to mix it all up. You can see there's lots of the beads there and the other things. You can press on our plate to pick up the beads and the things we drop while it's getting mixed in. Well, I think that looks pretty close to fish vomit. How about you? I hope you have lots of fun playing with this. I think this might be one that the parents don't like, but I think it's still pretty funny, and I reckon that looks pretty close to some fish vomit. When you're done with that, I've got a little jar, and you can put it in here. That way you can keep the other colours separate. If you've got any Lego at home, you might just put a little Lego man in there, and that can be Jonah swimming around in there. And it sounds a bit like a cart as it's getting pushed in, so we've got a funny lesson today. So that's our first craft, making some whale vomit. I think that's the first. The next craft we're going to do is we're going to make a fish, and I'll grab that now. So this is the fish we're going to make. I've already made mine and coloured it in. Jonah's a story that's not really about a fish. It's about a prophet, Jonah, that doesn't listen to God. So what you do is you get your fish, you can colour in the fins, and then I've got lots of little dots, and we can stick them all on the body. And you can overlap them to make the little fish scales. That's our next craft.